Why is The Rock so skinny? I think they're worried about him. I think they're worried there could be when Chadwick Boseman got really thin, people got worried, and they were right to be worried.
The Rock has dropped from a 300-pound mountain of muscle to just 240 in a matter of months. This isn't a movie role transformation. Something much darker could be happening with his health, and fans are terrified. I just uncovered the reason for this shocking change, and it's something fans should truly be worried about. Let me break it down. The transformation that shocked the world. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stepped onto the red carpet at the 82nd Venice Film Festival in early September 2025, the world did a collective double-take. The man who had become synonymous with being an immovable mountain of muscle, weighing in at his signature 300 pounds, appeared dramatically different. Reports indicate he shed about 60 pounds over 12 months, bringing him down to approximately 240 pounds. A transformation so stark that fans immediately began speculating about what could have caused such a drastic change. The transformation was so dramatic that social media exploded with reactions ranging from concern to outright shock. Fans on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit have been abuzz since the festival photos surfaced, with hashtags like #TheRockWeightLoss trending. The reactions painted a complex picture of public sentiment, some expressing genuine worry about his health, others making light of the situation with nicknames like The Pebble, and many drawing uncomfortable parallels to other celebrities who had experienced dramatic weight loss before revealing serious health issues. But what exactly triggered this transformation? According to official sources, Johnson's weight loss is most credibly linked to his preparation for portraying Mark Kerr, a two-time UFC heavyweight champion known for his muscular yet battle-worn physique in the 1990s. The upcoming biographical drama, The Smashing Machine, directed by Benny Safdie, required Johnson to embody not just the physical presence of Kerr, but also the emotional weight of a man who battled prescription drug addiction and personal demons.
The film it's not about fighting. Even fighting just happens to be what he did. And he, at one time, Stephen, he was the greatest fighter on the planet. It's a love story. And it's a love story about Mark and Dawn in this relationship. And it's a love story about Mark and the love that he had for the thing that he did and his struggle with trying to deliver and his overcoming his challenges.
The preparation for this role was unlike anything Johnson had undertaken before. This transformation reportedly took 12 months, involving a highly disciplined regimen overseen by elite trainers and nutritionists. The process was methodical and intense, requiring Johnson to completely restructure not just his diet, but his entire approach to fitness and body composition. The dietary overhaul was perhaps the most dramatic aspect of the transformation. A strict calorie deficit emphasizing lean proteins, for example, chicken breast, white fish, eggs, fiber-rich vegetables, broccoli, asparagus, and portion-controlled complex carbohydrates, brown rice, sweet potatoes, replaced his previous intake of 6,000 calories daily. Every meal was weighed for precision, with absolutely no room for processed foods, snacks, or takeaways, a stark contrast to the massive portions that had sustained his 300-pound frame for years. The training protocol represented an equally dramatic shift in philosophy. Rather than the heavy, bulking lifts that had built his legendary physique, Johnson embraced a shift from heavy bulking lifts to endurance-focused workouts, including lighter weights with higher repetitions to burn fat while preserving muscle. At least 1 hour of daily morning cardio, fasted running or cycling, high-intensity interval training, HIIT, and sport-specific drills like grappling and striking for the MMA role. These sessions could span multiple hours, mimicking an athlete's schedule and pushing his 53-year-old body to adapt in ways it hadn't been challenged in years. But beneath the surface of this professional transformation lay a more complex health narrative that Johnson had been dealing with privately.
As it relates to my heart, all of a sudden you're rolling along in life and things are good, and then you reach your 5th level of life and you realize that's when all the tests start to happen, right? Okay, where's the colonoscopy line? Let's do that. And
right.
Hey, here's the cardiovascular workup, and let's look at the heart and let's look at all the valves and things like that. So when I was looking at the valves, there was some buildup, or so they thought. And then when we looked at that on the old school traditional MRI and the scans, it looked like I had buildup, and then immediately the call to action was, all right, well, let's get you on this medication. It's a multi-month medication, and here we go.
In a candid June 2025 interview on the Dr. Mark Hyman Show, Johnson revealed how multiple rounds of antibiotics, prescribed for various injuries, eroded his intestinal lining, causing chronic digestive upset, nutrient malabsorption, and fatigue. This revelation added another layer to understanding his transformation. It wasn't just about preparing for a role, but about addressing real health issues that had been affecting his quality of life. The gut health issues weren't just a minor inconvenience. They represented a fundamental disruption to Johnson's ability to maintain his legendary physique. When your body can't properly absorb nutrients, even consuming thousands of calories becomes ineffective. Under Hyman's guidance, he underwent gut rehabilitation using probiotics, anti-inflammatory plant compounds, and a customized shake, potentially aiding fat loss by improving metabolism and reducing inflammation. The recovery process took 8 weeks, but it may have been the key that unlocked his ability to achieve such a dramatic transformation safely. The speed and scale of Johnson's weight loss sparked immediate speculation about the methods he might have used. Experts emphasize that such a transformation is achievable naturally for someone with Johnson's resources, estimating a safe rate of 2 pounds per week. Fitness expert Kunal Makwana noted it would take about 6 months for a professional like Johnson, far from the overnight miracle some speculate. However, not everyone was convinced that the transformation was purely natural. The internet exploded with theories ranging from the plausible to the absurd. Some fans worried about underlying health issues, drawing uncomfortable parallels to other celebrities who had experienced dramatic weight loss before revealing serious illnesses. Others speculated about the use of performance-enhancing drugs or their cessation, while some even suggested the use of modern weight loss medications.
So people have been writing me all day. They want me to weigh in on this. And they're asking me, why is The Rock so skinny? I think they're worried about him. I think they're worried there could be when Chadwick Boseman got really thin, people got worried, and they were right to be worried.
The Chadwick Boseman comparison was particularly poignant and concerning. The beloved Black Panther actor had experienced dramatic weight loss that fans initially attributed to method acting, only to later learn he had been battling colon cancer in private. This precedent made many fans approach Johnson's transformation with a mixture of admiration and trepidation, unsure whether to celebrate his dedication to his craft or worry about potential underlying health issues. But Johnson's team and the experts who analyzed his transformation painted a different picture. Trainers like Jill Charton and others noted that such dramatic changes are possible through intense dedication, proper nutrition, and the kind of resources available to A-list celebrities. The key was having access to world-class nutritionists, personal trainers, and medical supervision, luxuries that make dramatic transformations both safer and more achievable. The theories, the health scares, and the hidden struggles. While the official narrative around The Rock's transformation centers on role preparation and gut health recovery, the internet has become a breeding ground for theories that range from medically plausible to wildly conspiratorial. These speculations reflect not just curiosity about a beloved celebrity, but deeper anxieties about the toll that extreme physicality and Hollywood pressures can take on the human body. The most prevalent and medically concerning theory revolves around performance-enhancing drugs and their potential cessation. Johnson admitted to brief steroid use at 18, 19 in a 2009 MTV interview, calling it an isolated teen experiment, with friends unaware of risks like heart disease or liver damage. However, figures like Joe Rogan have been more direct in their accusations. In a 2022 podcast, Rogan accused him of current use, citing his unnatural size at 50+ as evidence of being not clean, while Chael Sonnen echoed PED allegations.
Now, The Rock has come out in a video and he goes over this. He explains this, but he refuses to accept it. How many years have I been saying The Rock needs to come off steroids? And is it possible The Rock's 100% natural? And I have made a shirt to say the exact odds of it.
The steroid cessation theory gained particular traction when viewed through the lens of Johnson's age and recent health revelations. At 53, maintaining the kind of extreme muscle mass that made him famous becomes increasingly difficult and potentially dangerous. Fitness influencers like Greg Doucette have claimed Johnson shopped for a doctor to minimize public alarm about potential cardiovascular risks, suggesting that his dramatic weight loss might be a response to medical warnings about the strain his size was placing on his heart. This theory gained additional credibility when Johnson discussed his cardiovascular health in various interviews.
There was what looked to be some stuff inside there.
Like a buildup of
Like
what
a
they
build-
thought.
The mention of potential arterial buildup, even if later dismissed, sparked widespread speculation about whether years of alleged PED use had finally caught up with him. The medical establishment's response to these theories has been mixed but generally skeptical. Experts like Kunal Makwana dismiss steroid cessation as unconfirmed, noting that Johnson's training regimen and nutritional discipline could account for his transformation naturally. However, the mere fact that such theories persist speaks to the public's awareness of the very real health risks associated with long-term PED use particularly cardiovascular complications that can emerge later in life. Another theory that gained significant online traction was the potential use of modern weight loss medications like Ozempic or other GLP-1 receptor agonists. Fan speculation on Reddit and X has linked Johnson's transformation to the Hollywood trend of using semaglutide-based injections for rapid fat reduction. These medications have become increasingly popular among celebrities for their ability to suppress appetite and accelerate weight loss, leading to dramatic transformations in relatively short periods.
Johnson's skinny physique went viral on X, where fans jokingly called him the Pebble. I'm sure if he took his shirt off, though, and he don't look like that. Like, that's what he probably looks like. You know, like he looks like the Smashing Machine when he takes his shirt off.
However, fitness experts have largely dismissed the Ozempic theory. Trainers like Jill Charton and Katie Boyd argue that the side effects of these medications, including nausea, fatigue, and appetite suppression, would be incompatible with the intense training regimen required for Johnson's MMA role preparation. Demanding physical preparation for the Smashing Machine would require sustained energy and nutritional intake that these medications might compromise. Perhaps the most concerning theories involve serious underlying health conditions. The specter of undisclosed illnesses like cancer or heart disease has haunted discussions about Johnson's transformation, particularly given recent high-profile cases where dramatic weight loss preceded revelations of serious health issues. Social media posts have speculated about everything from cancer to heart disease, with some linking his slimmer appearance to potential health scares that he might be keeping private. These fears aren't entirely unfounded when viewed through the lens of Johnson's extensive injury history and the cumulative toll of his career. Johnson's wrestling career from 1996 to 2004, with sporadic returns, resulted in numerous injuries, including 4 knee surgeries, a ruptured Achilles tendon, complete shoulder reconstruction, and multiple disc herniations. The most severe occurred at WrestleMania 29 in 2013, when he tore his quadriceps and adductor tendons from his pelvis, triggering a chain reaction that required emergency triple hernia surgery.
It is, yes. Am I a softie? Yes.
He's kind of like pudding underneath this. He's like
Pudding. That's my nickname.
pudding.
On weekends is pudding. I think one of the dynamic things about Mark Kerr is just that he is this walking contradiction of a man who is, and also just physically back then, Mark, and now too, he's very imposing, but he also had this silhouette that was very unique to Mark Kerr.
The psychological aspects of Johnson's transformation have also drawn significant attention, particularly in light of his well-documented struggles with mental health. Johnson has openly discussed 3 major bouts of depression following his college football injury, during his 2008 divorce, and around 2017 due to career pressures. Each of these periods was marked by significant life changes and physical transformations, leading some to speculate whether his current appearance might reflect another period of internal struggle. The most emotionally resonant aspect of Johnson's mental health journey involves his childhood trauma, particularly witnessing his mother's suicide attempt when he was just 15 years old. This devastating experience, combined with childhood poverty, frequent moves, and early arrests, created a foundation of resilience, but also deep-seated emotional scars. While there's no direct evidence linking these past traumas to his current transformation, they provide important context for understanding the pressures and coping mechanisms that have shaped his approach to physical fitness and public image. Johnson's relationship with his body and physical appearance has always been complex, serving as both armor and vulnerability. The gym became his sanctuary, a place where he could exert control and find solace during turbulent periods. In interviews, he's described exercise as his therapy, calling workouts his anchor to sweat out toxins and gain clarity. This relationship makes his current transformation even more significant. It's not just about preparing for a role, but potentially about redefining his relationship with his own body as he ages. The intersection of physical and mental health in Johnson's story becomes particularly relevant when considering the pressures of maintaining his larger-than-life image. At 53, the natural decline in testosterone and the increasing difficulty of maintaining extreme muscle mass without pharmaceutical assistance creates a crossroads where health and image may conflict. His transformation might represent a conscious choice to prioritize longevity over spectacle, even if it means abandoning the physical presence that made him famous. The future of The Rock. As Dwayne Johnson stood on the Venice Film Festival red carpet in September 2025, his transformation represented more than just preparation for a single role. It symbolized a potential paradigm shift in how one of Hollywood's biggest action stars approaches the intersection of career, health, and authenticity. The implications of this change extend far beyond the entertainment industry, touching on broader conversations about aging, body image, and the sustainability of extreme physicality in the public eye. The professional motivations behind Johnson's transformation reveal a man grappling with the constraints of his own success. In press conferences for The Smashing Machine, Johnson expressed feeling pigeonholed in Hollywood blockbusters, describing a burning desire to explore deeper, more challenging material. This sentiment echoes his earlier career transition in the mid-2000s, when he deliberately slimmed down to escape the muscle-bound wrestler typecast that was limiting his opportunities.
I think what I did realize is that the most important thing, I just had this burning desire and this just voice that was saying, well, again, what if? But what if there is more? And what if I can? And a lot of times it's harder for us to, or at least for me, sometimes to know what you're capable of when you've been pigeonholed into something.
The choice to portray Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine represents a particularly bold artistic decision. Kerr's story is one of triumph and tragedy, a dominant fighter whose career was derailed by prescription drug addiction and personal struggles. Johnson has described the film as a love story and emphasized that it's not really about fighting, but about the human condition and overcoming challenges. This represents a significant departure from the crowd-pleasing action spectacles that have defined his recent career. The physical demands of embodying Kerr required more than just losing weight. It demanded a complete reimagining of Johnson's screen presence. Director Benny Safdie initially wanted Johnson to appear bigger and puffier to capture Kerr's intensity, but Johnson chose a leaner, more authentic approach, using prosthetics and makeup for additional realism. This decision suggests a willingness to sacrifice his iconic physicality for artistic authenticity, a choice that few action stars of his caliber would be willing to make. The health implications of Johnson's transformation extend far beyond the immediate visual impact. At 53, his decision to reduce his muscle mass and overall body weight may represent a proactive approach to addressing the long-term consequences of decades of extreme physicality. The natural decline in testosterone production after age 50, combined with the accumulated wear and tear from wrestling and action film work, makes maintaining 300 pounds of muscle increasingly challenging and potentially dangerous. Johnson's gut health revelation provides crucial context for understanding the holistic nature of his transformation. The damage caused by years of antibiotic use, stemming from wrestling-related infections and injuries, had created a cascade of health issues, including nutrient malabsorption, chronic inflammation, and fatigue. Addressing these issues through functional medicine approaches not only improved his quality of life, but may have made his dramatic transformation both possible and sustainable.
Somebody comes into the hospital with shortness of breath. Oh, I'm experiencing pain down my left arm. Shortness of breath.
The broader implications for Johnson's career trajectory are significant and multifaceted. His recent filmography has yielded mixed results, with projects like Black Adam receiving critical derision and Red One struggling to capture audiences despite massive budgets. The past few years have seen Johnson go from being the #1 box office attraction to experiencing mixed results both critically and commercially. This transformation might represent a strategic pivot toward more critically acclaimed, character-driven work that could revitalize his career in unexpected ways. The industry response to Johnson's transformation has been telling. The film received a 15-minute standing ovation at Venice, drawing tears from Johnson himself, suggesting that his dramatic turn has resonated powerfully with critics and industry insiders. This reception indicates that his gamble on dramatic material might pay off in ways that his recent blockbuster attempts have not. However, the transformation also raises questions about Johnson's future in the action genre that made him famous. The physical demands of franchises like Fast and Furious or potential superhero roles may no longer align with his health priorities or artistic ambitions. This creates an interesting parallel with other action stars who have successfully transitioned to character work as they've aged, from Sylvester Stallone's dramatic turns to Arnold Schwarzenegger's shift toward comedy and politics. The public response to Johnson's transformation has highlighted the complex relationship between celebrity, body image, and fan expectations. Social media reactions have ranged from empathetic support, "It's probably really good for him, dude has been gigantic forever," to humorous commentary, referring to him as the Pebble. These varied responses reflect broader societal attitudes toward aging, masculinity, and the pressure placed on public figures to maintain impossible standards.
Another thing is you start to want the respect of your peers. Maybe other actors are like, yeah, you know, you're the man, but we want to see something else from you. You know, so once you start rubbing shoulders with other people in the business, It's like, hey, well, can you do that or can you do this? You know, you've already conquered this niche pretty much, the action niche. What else can you do? Can you bring home that Oscar? Can you do that? Because once you can do that, then you're full-fledged actor.
The psychological dimensions of Johnson's transformation cannot be overlooked. His openness about depression and mental health struggles has made him an advocate for vulnerability and authentic self-expression. The decision to dramatically alter his physical appearance for artistic purposes represents a form of vulnerability that few celebrities of his stature would embrace, potentially inspiring others to prioritize authenticity over image. The speculation and conspiracy theories surrounding Johnson's transformation also reveal important truths about how we consume celebrity culture. The tendency to assume the worst, whether it's undisclosed illness, drug use, or other hidden struggles, reflects our collective anxiety about the costs of fame and the pressure to maintain impossible standards. The comparison to Chadwick Boseman's situation, while understandable, also demonstrates how past tragedies can color our perception of current events. Looking ahead, Johnson's transformation may mark a turning point, not just in his own career, but in how Hollywood approaches aging action stars. The traditional model of maintaining extreme physicality, well into one's 50s and beyond, may be giving way to a more sustainable approach that prioritizes health, longevity, and artistic growth over pure spectacle. The success or failure of The Smashing Machine will likely determine whether Johnson's gamble pays off. If the film succeeds critically and commercially, it could open doors to a new phase of his career characterized by more challenging, character-driven work. If it struggles, he may face pressure to return to the familiar formula of big-budget action spectacles, potentially at the cost of his health and artistic ambitions.
So, yeah, I hope he's doing all right in the head, because it does look like he went deep for this. Wonder how Jonathan Majors is doing after Magazine Dreams, because that was, whew, tip of the hat to that, man. He killed it.
Ultimately, Dwayne Johnson's transformation represents more than just a physical change. It embodies a broader conversation about authenticity, sustainability, and the courage to reinvent oneself in the public eye. Whether motivated by health concerns, artistic ambitions, or a combination of both, his decision to dramatically alter his appearance for The Smashing Machine demonstrates a commitment to his craft that transcends the comfortable familiarity of his established brand. As fans and critics continue to speculate about the motivations and implications of his transformation, one thing remains clear: The Rock may be smaller, but his willingness to take risks and challenge himself artistically suggests that his impact on entertainment may be entering an entirely new phase. The question now is whether audiences will embrace this evolution or long for the return of the larger-than-life figure who dominated action cinema for over a decade. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.